told your friend you're not okay.
Top K-pop. There are moments in music history when the stage becomes more than just a venue, but an altar that changes the way the world views an artist. And tonight, all eyes are on Paris. The City of Light is gearing up for something more than just a concert. A rumor that started as a whisper has now become a global phenomenon. BTS's Jungkook is rumored to be holding the Light Beyond Time concert, and if true, this could be one of the most historic performances in the music industry. Paris has always had a way of making the world flutter. From the revolution that changed the face of European politics, to the birth of works of art that inspired civilization. The cobblestone streets of Montmartre, the aroma of coffee from small cafes, the glow of street lamps caressing classical buildings, all have a story to tell. But this time, the tale being written isn't from a painter or poet, but from a global star hailing from South Korea. Amidst all this beauty, there's something different in the air. The night breeze carries the scent of roasted chestnuts, mingled with the scent of jasmine, and above it all, the Eiffel Tower stands as if it knows a secret yet to be revealed. The lights shimmered, as if waiting for the moment when music would take over the Parisian skyline. It all started with a vague social media post. A blurry photo, posted by a small Twitter account with fewer than 100 followers. A tall man in a black hoodie, his face covered, stepped out of Charles de Gaulle Airport. The photo should have been ordinary, but for ARMY it was enough. The way he walked, the position of his hands in his pockets, the silhouette of his body, all were undeniable signs. In less than an hour, the photo spread like wildfire. The hashtags #Jungkook in Paris and #The Light Beyond Time began flooding timelines. Fans around the world sprang into action, checking flight schedules, searching for visual evidence, and even contacting airport staff. From that moment on, the rumor was no longer just gossip. While the online world was abuzz with speculation, behind the scenes, a master plan had been underway for months. Not in the center of Paris, but in an industrial warehouse on the outskirts, an international production team was working day and night. Stage blueprints lay spread out on the table, revealing a design that looked more like a space launch pad than a music concert. Spotlights were set up like a steel forest, a giant LED screen awaited being turned on, and costume sketches were displayed on the walls, from elegant gowns reminiscent of 19th century Parisian operas to futuristic streetwear with neon stripes. The project was codenamed The Light Beyond Time. Jungkook himself gave his team one simple instruction: I don't want an ordinary concert. I want them to leave with a feeling they'll never forget. I want to create an experience they'll carry with them for a lifetime. Many asked why not Seoul, Los Angeles, or Tokyo, cities he'd already conquered. The answer was simple yet profound. Paris is a symbol of art, fashion, and timeless beauty. Jungkook didn't just want the city as a backdrop, but as a partner on stage. Rumors grew wilder. Some said the stage would be built directly facing the Eiffel Tower, with synchronized lights that would move to the rhythm of his voice. Some gossip media outlets suggested a collaboration with legendary French musicians, and there were even rumors of a possible surprise BTS reunion mid-concert. Once the rumor spread, the impact was immediate. Airfare to Paris skyrocketed. Hotels along the Champs-Élysées filled up within days. Emotional stories began to emerge. A fan from Manila willingly sold his BTS album collection to buy tickets, a couple from Canada postponing their wedding to attend, and a group of friends from Brazil saving for months to make the 16-hour trip. Leaked production documents revealed that the concert would be divided into 3 major chapters. Heritage of Light, opening with a symphony orchestra and 100-piece choir performing orchestral arrangements of Jungkook's songs. The stage transformed into a 19th century Parisian opera house complete with crystal chandeliers and gold decor. Pulse of the Present, a burst of modernity with EDM, cutting-edge K-pop choreography, and interactive visuals that responded to the audience's energy in real time. Beyond Tomorrow, hologram technology transported Jungkook to iconic global landmarks like Times Square and Shibuya Crossing, before returning to the Paris stage in an explosion of light for the final song. When the long-awaited day arrived, the air in Paris felt tense yet warm. In front of the Eiffel Tower, thousands of light sticks shone, creating a sea of light. The first piano notes rang out, the curtains opened, and there stood Jungkook, graceful, radiating a charisma that blended Korean elegance with Parisian charm. His first sound cut through the night, making thousands of hearts stop beating. For 2 hours, time seemed to freeze. Paris wasn't just an audience. It sang along, breathed along, and felt every wave of emotion. At the end of the concert, before the fireworks exploded in the sky, Jungkook looked out at the sea of people before him, smiled, and said softly, "Thank you, Paris." Cheers erupted, and that night, the world seemed to become one. There were no longer borders or languages. There was only music and the shared feeling in millions of hearts. The thunderous cheers that night didn't subside immediately. The audience remained standing, some hugging each other, others gazing up at the sky filled with the colors of the fireworks. In the crowd, some were still crying, not from sadness, but because the moment they had just experienced was too beautiful to repeat. Some people held up their phones, recording the final moments, even though they knew no camera could truly capture the emotions they felt. Meanwhile, backstage, the production team embraced. They knew they had just been part of something that would be remembered around the world. On social media, the world exploded. The hashtag the light beyond time became the #1 global trending topic within minutes. Footage of Jungkook performing his final song against the backdrop of the synchronized lights of the Eiffel Tower was shared millions of times. Major international media outlets, from the New York Times to Le Monde, ran stories with nearly identical headlines. Paris witnesses a night for the ages. However, what made this concert truly legendary wasn't just the scale of the production, but the feeling it evoked. Many attendees reported feeling connected, despite coming from different cultures and languages. One fan from Italy wrote on Twitter, "I came to Paris to see Jungkook, but I left believing that music can erase the distance between us." The next day, Paris felt different. Streets normally filled with tourists were now filled with people wearing concert merchandise. In the corner of a cafe, you could hear snippets of Jungkook's songs playing, whether from the radio, on mobile phones, or even a street musician covering them on guitar. The organizers finally released the official figures. The concert had a live audience of over 80,000, with millions watching via global live streams. Enough to break the record for the largest single K-pop concert ever held in Europe. And even though the stage has been dismantled, the light beyond time lives on in the hearts of those who attended. Every time they look at a photo or video of that night, they know they weren't just watching a concert. They were part of a story that will be retold for years to come. At the end of his brief interview with local media, Jungkook had only one thing to say before leaving Paris. "Time may move on, but that night will remain." A few days after the concert, Paris returned to its normal rhythm. But for those who were there, the city now holds a new layer of memories. Memories of a night when music transformed the air into something almost tangible. Photos of Jungkook on stage with the Eiffel Tower in the background continued to circulate, symbolizing an era where cross-cultural music was no longer just entertainment, but a universal language. Armies who attended began returning to their respective countries, bringing home not just merchandise or concert tickets neatly folded in their wallets, but also stories they would one day share with their children and grandchildren. In one of his Instagram posts, Jungkook uploaded a silhouette of himself on stage in Paris, accompanied by only a short caption, "The light will always find you, no matter the time." The sentence, though brief, felt like a message to all who have ever believed that music can connect hearts. And as its name, The Light Beyond Time, suggests that night would continue to shine, transcending the boundaries of time, distance, and generations. And when the stage lights finally went out, one thing became clear. Jungkook wasn't just holding a concert in Paris. He was writing history